Shut your eyes and whirl around. Reach out your hand and if no one's there, grab your own hand, dance round in a square. When you're doing the big bend hoedown, gotta have a caller you can trust. Cause when Big Ben does a hoedown, he really kicks up some dust.
Oink, oink.
All right.
Oink.
It is time for the pig pen.
Yay!
Oink.
Yay.
Oink. Hi, George.
Danny. Hi, Danny.
How are you doing?
Great.
Kick ass.
Did you bring a coat?
Yeah.
You did? Okay, all right. Mike
It's
forgot
a little
his.
chilly.
Yeah, Norm did not bring his either. We're going to have to get you one, Mike.
Killer, could you go get me a coat?
You know what you always do, though? You always, just in case, just throw something long sleeve in the bag.
I know.
It's May,
And
though.
For whatever reason. Yeah, it's May.
I know we're out, well, I don't want to say where we are, but
Everybody knows where you are. It's
We're out of
fine.
the wild.
Boy, this is the wild this year, man. This is nuts.
They're at
no
the-
Big Ben got this cold.
They're
I
at the
guess it does.
Omni camping.
Yeah, we're camping
that
in
would
the
be
parking
funny.
lot.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
The old Omni.
Hey, I thought we ought to move the compound to Hawaii this year.
To
remember?
do the Cowboy game. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, the week the Cowboys are out there.
We're camping on the beach.
Cat would have none of it.
All right, Danny, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, Corby, you played, it was either Monday or yesterday, the Adam Sandler tribute to Chris Farley that he wrote and performed, and has been performing in it as stand-up now for quite some time, but it was the first time I think any of us had seen it on Saturday
Awesome.
Night Live, and it was really touching. It was very honest. It didn't pull any punches as far as who Chris Farley was, but it was a really transparent, fitting tribute, and I think we all thought it was very emotional and authentic, right?
Loved it.
I did. One of the best moments I've seen on SNL in a long
time. Well, I was so inspired, Corby, that I decided to pen a little number myself, eulogizing someone that we all used to know that has been gone now, by and large, for several years. But, man, when this person was around, we had so much fun, and, well, things just changed, and this person is pretty much dead to us all. And I'll just let the song speak for itself if you'd like to hear it.
All right.
Here it goes. My song, my eulogy to a long-lost friend. Pause it for a second. And by the way, I apologize for the character that I fell into while singing this song that I like to refer to as Weird Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
All right.
It's 4 a.m., another sleepless night. My mind on a long-lost friend. My hands are shaking, my heart is breaking, 'cause I know I'll never see him again. It's so hard to conceive he could ever leave. My soul is starting to ache. Now I'm all alone, but in my heart I know it's time to say goodbye to the snake.
He died a long time ago, Mike, remember?
I sure do.
He's still here.
I don't
No, he's
know.
not.
He's just Corby now, and he's boring as shit. I only see him now weekdays at 3. But there was a time back in '99 when he seemed so different to me. We had pint nights at Barley, he rode nude on a Harley, he did copious mountains of blow. But those late nights are gone, passing out on the lawn. Now he's someone that I barely know.
Oh, man. Remember 20 years ago, Corby?
Oh, I do. I'll never forget it.
Back when you were the snake?
I know.
Oh, boy. I'm sorry about the next two.
His weekends are now filled with youth tennis. And his festival days are long gone.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No Coachella days and Burning Man nights.
Burning
Just
Man?
more tennis and mowing his lawn. He'll be off with his family to his Gulf Shores home, fishing with Witten at the edge of a lake. But you know he won't be high. It's time to say goodbye to that phony once known as the Snake.
It's the next two verses that I want to apologize
Oh, God.
for.
Oh, man.
Hope your wife's not listening.
Oh, no.
I remember long ago one drunk night he got home and tried to claim from his wife 4 points. There was a boob over here and a boob over there. The room was spinning from craft beer and joints. As hard as he tried, his TF, it was denied. The next day, his wife asked him for a break. And I believe that was the day, through his hungover haze, Corby said goodbye to the Snake.
All true.
Such passion.
All true.
Is this really goodbye?
Oh, boy.
Or maybe it was that one time after fight night
Oh, no.
at a bar with young ladies of lust. He disappeared in the night. No one knew where he was. Probably passed out face down in their bust. Every hospital was called. His wife not enthralled because he took all the Molly he could take. And the next day he got grounded. His head how it pounded, cause he knew he was no longer the Snake.
All true.
All true as well.
Remember when you got grounded for a month?
Yeah, grounded.
Now all we're left with is Corby, and it's painfully boring. I can't say now that I'm ready. Oh, how I miss the days of crack cocaine and Miller Lite, and puking up bowls of spaghetti. He no longer wears jeans, he drinks lattes with cream, and his side yard is perfectly raked. Yeah, he's useless as but maybe with a little luck, we'll have one more night with the Snake.
It's tonight.
Yes.
One more
Tonight we
night.
ride.
Night with the Snake.
There you go.
Man.
Wow, that is outstanding.
That was awesome.
Together.
Who was playing piano?
I don't know.
A third grader.
No, YouTube.
That's awesome.
You just Google
awesome.
YouTube sad piano music.
Pretty good Warren Zevon, Holmes.
I think the Snake still lives. He just you don't see him as much.
I don't know.
He's around.
He does not.
We got to
He's
find.
around.
He's always around.
I saw him at training camp this year.
We need to see him tonight. Is
I think
tonight
we
the
may-
night, or is tomorrow the night?
Maybe
We'll
both
see.
nights.
We'll see. May double up.
Snake can go back-to-back nights.
Yeah.
Like the good old days.
I'll believe it when I see it.
It hurts a lot now.
See, we won't ground him if he does something crazy here tonight.
Right.
We'll applaud him and laugh.
All right. Good stuff, Bayless.
There's your pig pen.
Yes,
Good
Lord
stuff.
Bayless, you come through again.
Good stuff.
Well, last weekend was a really big one for a lot of people around here because we had the Duck Commander 500
Quack.
out at the Texas Motor Speedway. We were out there with the show on Friday. The race was Saturday, under the lights out there. And you
I had the full-on NASCAR experience.
yes, you did have the full-on NASCAR experience.
No two ways about it. I got to be part of the Kyle Larson pit crew, the rookie of the year last year in NASCAR, who was rolling ninth, I believe, when the race started. So there was like a legit shot that this kid could have won. So they put me on his pit crew, But I'll get into that here in a second because part of the deal was taking a helicopter in at the track.
Yes, being hoisted out there at a helicopter.
Getting on one of them big helicopters.
You love helicopters so much.
It's kind of my thing, helicopters.
It's kind of what you do.
Mm-hmm. Kind of what I'm about. So, yeah. Me and my buddy Ashley, the only guy that I know that's really hardcore into racing, we drove out there to Alliance Airport, and there was a helicopter that was waiting on us.
I thought they were going to pick you up at the heliport at your house.
It doesn't exist. It's not around, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's not. It's down. It's down right now.
Your heliport?
Helipad is down. I'll say this, though. From Alliance Airport to what? How far is it? To the track, it's a couple of miles.
Sure.
But in that, you know where Alliance is, don't you?
No, I don't know that I've ever seen it.
It's up 35.
Are you effing kidding me?
No, I'm not effing kidding.
It's right off the highway.
Yeah, I know it's up there somewhere, but I don't get out there on that I-35 much.
Okay.
You need to. It's really fun.
It's just a couple miles south, but the bottom line is that there is a helicopter company out there, Henry Management, that will take anyone from Alliance Airport to the track, and you can avoid traffic. You land right there.
All right, now he's trying to make himself like the common man. They'll take anyone.
Well, they will. I am one of you.
So, how about them?
Whatever. You land right just north of the track, and then a golf cart picks you up and golf.
All right, now we're working golf into it.
And then wheels you right into where you need to go.
You felt right at home in your helicopter and your golf cart. Two forms of transportation that are more popular to you than the automobile.
I didn't ask for this. This was a sales deal. Thank you very much.
This was demanded.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And not
only that, but he insisted on an OU copter.
I know, that's the thing, is the regular unpainted helicopter showed up and he brushed it away with his hand and said, no. Not until I get a Oklahoma Sooners chopper.
Now, the OU chopper was a bit, because when we walked out there to the helicopter, there was an Oklahoma helicopter in the background, and I took a picture of it and acted like that was the one, but that wasn't part of the helicopter that they had. But just going over all the traffic and kind of looking at it and, like, this is okay. This is a good way to travel to the track and beat all the traffic, that's for sure, because we went right around it all on that 170.
You went right over it all.
Well, yeah.
You weren't scared?
Remember, I've been on one with a drunk guy who probably didn't have his license with strippers. So,
yeah, I've been on that too, and it scared the hell out of me so much that I'm not eager to get into another one.
That's not the way that an actual legitimate helicopter company runs itself. You understand that there aren't always strippers, lotions,
yes, I understand.
Booze,
I understand.
And drunk pilots.
Yes, I understand that, but I also understand that a helicopter is a helicopter, and if
a plane's a plane, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I'm a little more freaked out by the copter than I am the plane.
Well, it was nice. And then it was time to make our way over to the pit team of Kyle Larson. And we got there really early. We got there, 2 o'clock or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we had about 4.5 hours to kill before the race. And we met up with Kyle and his team. And, man, you would be so disappointed, Mike, in what NASCAR has turned into.
Why? When?
As far as the people, As far as the people that race, that take care of the race cars, the pit crew, the publicists, all the way around, the teams. Mm-hmm. So of the 32 teams that were there, I don't think there was one Southern accent. This is unbelievable how technical this is. So I start firing questions away at my team, like, okay, who's the crew chief? And they're telling me who the crew chief is. Like, okay, where'd you find him? Oh, well, he got his master's in physics from Cal. And all these guys.
Yay.
These guys are... This isn't like your buddy that you were drinking Budweisers with.
Your buddy that works at Amco.
Yes, that helped you put together a crankshaft or something. Now he's your crew chief.
So you didn't ask, you guys did remember to fill her up before you rolled it in here, did you?
I mean, think about that. And this is the way all these guys are. They're physics masters.
I know. They've made this too smart.
It's unreal.
Right.
So get a load of this. So I'm asking, when do you guys get here for the race? We get here on Monday evening. Okay, cool. So then what's your schedule like for the next couple days? Well, Tuesday, it's gym day for the team. So again, you think of A.J. Foyt getting his fat ass out of a car and his big old gut spills over and maybe a Busch Light falls out of the car with him.
That's my NASCAR there.
Dude.
Mine too.
These guys are all like...
That's my regular car.
They're like shredded. So, okay, so gym day for the team is one thing. And then I go, okay, so he goes, that's a couple hours on Tuesday and we work out really hard and, do some of the same stuff. And then Wednesday, of course, is yoga day. Yoga day for NASCAR.
Yoga day.
They have yoga day.
Wow. This is not what I want to hear.
This is a sport that is... The fans are still that way. 75, 80% of them, but you still have 20% that are really into the technical side of it, that are into the smarty pants side of things, that love the talking about drag coefficients and things like that. And man, the science of NASCAR blew me away more than anything. And all these guys are so incredibly smart. So we end up taking the car over to the pit box where the pit crew is, and they gave me a nice shirt. Target was a sponsor for him, for Kyle. And, whatever. My job was to carry tires, basically, to the recycling bin.
I didn't get to wear coveralls?
They didn't put me in a fire suit.
So we just, stick your arm through a couple of them and carry them over there? Is that what it was?
No, we had a dolly. I don't think I'm able to carry these tires.
Okay.
Which, by the way, they rummaged through $40,000 worth of tires in a weekend. Tires.
This is a very expensive proposition.
Oh, my God. Hence why, while I was taking off on my chopper, that you see the Joe Gibbs Racing Team jet, it was like Jet Saturday. All these high-end G4s that are lined up in a row from all the racing teams that flew in here. I'm sure some of them were the drivers themselves, too. There's so much money involved in this. This is a moonshine sport that has turned into a billion-dollar industry where brainiacs run it and million-dollar marketing people. And the only relic to the past are a few of the fans and the cars themselves. That's the only thing that ties NASCAR to its roots anymore.
The cars?
Well, I mean, I just mean the cars.
They're racing cars,
yes.
Not spaceships.
Right. So that ties them to whatever they were doing back in the day. Other than that, though, dude, nothing. Nothing at all.
Man, I wouldn't even count the cars. Those cars are nothing like what they used to race.
Well, I just mean symbolically. I don't mean
just the fact that they are cars?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the race starts, and I'm down there, and it's tense. First off, Kyle is a big deal, and these guys are... You have to imagine a pit crew, they're waiting for, 10 moments during a race, during a 3-hour race. And so when the first yellow flag appears, everybody comes into pit. And then it's time to go to it. Well, before that, these guys, again, this blew me away, to get ready because it's 20 seconds of very high intensity cardio type stuff and burst type stuff. These guys are not sitting there twiddling their thumbs drinking beer. They're doing push-ups. They're doing yoga poses, stretching, doing anything and everything to get their bodies prepared for this rush of 20 seconds because they want to get it perfect. Because obviously that's what this is all about. You lose.
It's very coordinated, too.
Shaving tenths of seconds.
Yes.
Hundredths of seconds.
Yeah, hundredths of seconds. And then they have, the guy that changes all the lug nuts. They have a wheel well that is attached to the pit box. And this guy, he will sit there and look at his stopwatch and boom, hit it and then run over there as fast as he can and be like, to time himself to get ready. That's his prep. That's his making 5-foot putts on the practice green before the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
This is what this guy's doing to get ready. And the buildup and the intensity, and I am right there. They let me right there in the middle of this.
So they don't use just a 4-way wrench and spin it around?
No, Danny, it's not that.
They don't have
the big wheel.
They don't have the screw jack from the trunk of a 67 Plymouth.
Nobody crawled under the car to make sure the jack's just right. You know, there's not going to bend the axle or anything.
No.
It's on the frame.
But when that car pulls in there, and there's one guy holding the big sign out there to make sure they come to the right bay. But, man, the controlled chaos that ensues in 20 seconds is amazing. Like you talk,
somebody yelling?
No, God, no. No.
Nobody's saying anything?
Not a word is spoken. You can't hear anything anyway. Everybody's wearing earplugs because it's so loud with all the cars and everything. You can't hear. So if you yelled, especially with the cars pulling up at the same time, you couldn't hear a damn thing. This is all a silent orchestra. Perfectly executed, man. Awesome to see. Like I was, those things typically don't blow me away. I was pretty much blown away by what these guys did.
How do they get gas? Is there like a quick trip on turn 2?
No, Danny, they have gas cans.
Do you think their gas costs $2.29 a gallon?
No, I don't. I don't think that their race car gas costs $2.29 a gallon.
Thanks a lot, Obama.
Right. But it was pretty crazy. And so we left about 3/4 of the way through the race, to catch the chopper.
You left. You didn't stay till the end? You didn't see the thrilling end?
Oh, he coptered his lily white ass right out of there.
God.
Didn't you? Didn't you?
All right, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So what happens after one of the pit stops? After they do
what they do?
After they do their thing and the guy drives off, do they go through it again and
what they do is it's all videotaped and they all run back to the back of the pit box area and there's a huge screen right there and they go over what they did. Now, when they took their earplugs off after the first one, I heard one guy go, "Are you serious? This is the way it's going to be all day?" And so, yeah, I guess that they got it together after the second or third one. But then after we left, I get a text from Kevin Rachel, our sales guy who put all this together. And he goes, "What happened down there?" I go, "What?"
Like it was your fault?
I go, "What are you talking about?" I go, "When I left, everything was fine." He goes, "Oh, you left?" I go, "Yeah." So sometime after I left, he missed Kyle missed the pit area. He went to the wrong one.
Ooh.
And you get docked. There were so many penalties going on from people doing stupid things in the pits,
right.
Passing people in the pits. And when you do that, you got to go all the way to the back. It's like Red Rover or Duck Duck Goose or something. And so here goes Kyle. He misses like by 3 slots, from what I understand, his pit area, and got thrown all the way to the back.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know where he finished, but whatever, man. It was awesome. It was really, really, about the coolest thing I can imagine doing at one of those races is being that up front and close. And the owner, by the way, he didn't know what I was doing because I would haul these tires off every now and then. And here this multi-billion-dollar car owner is sitting back there watching all this take place, looking at me. He knows exactly who's on the pit crew.
Right.
Looking at me, and he's standing right there as I'm hauling tires away, looking at me like, who is this? And am I paying this idiot?
How many laps did you make it? Tell the truth.
Well, today, Ronaldinho is walking things back a little bit. Because for the better part of last week, it was said that he was set to marry his 2 girlfriends simultaneously in August.
Yeah.
Yes. He is 38 years old. He lives where? Rio de Janeiro?
Yeah.
And for the last, I don't know how long really, but for a good while now, he has been shacked up with 2 chicks.
What was the guy's name? There was a documentary on HBO that was made about him not too long ago. Big movie producer. We all watched it. And we talked about it. He was an older guy. He died here probably in the last handful of years, but he too had multiple wives. Brad Pitt was good friends with him. Like, the dude's a monster producer. And he
I don't recall his name. Give me a second.
fell in love with, and the original wife was like, yeah, he fell in love with this assistant, and they all lived together. Like, it was no big deal.
Well, one of these women is Priscilla Coelho, and the other is Beatriz. I don't see a surname on it.
No.
Was it Jerry Weintraub?
Yeah, Jerry Weintraub. That's it.
I don't see a surname on Beatriz.
Doesn't need one, bruh.
But for some time now, he and the 2 of them have been shacking up down in Rio, and supposedly everybody is cool with this arrangement.
Until
It's
they're
illegal.
not.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
But they're fine with it.
Yeah, there is that minor detail that it is illegal, but just as far as how this all works among them, all good. He had an illustrious career with big Euro teams and has been living with these 2 since December of last year. However, he is now telling people, or he told a Brazilian newspaper, that despite this, he does not have plans on marrying any of them. He says that he is not marrying anyone and to ignore the rumors, despite the fact that it got out last week that they would all be married.
What a beating. Why would you
Why?
ever do that?
Especially if you're him, the most famous athlete in the world.
One of them.
I mean, top 3, top 5.
You're thinking of Ronaldo.
Oh.
This is Ronaldinho.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not top 5, but
No.
yeah.
He's pretty big in Brazil, though. He's worth probably $100 million at least.
He is said to have met Priscilla while playing for Atlético Mineiro in Brazil after ending his career overseas. And then the other one, Beatriz Souza, he met her in 2016 and has been dating both ever since. In Brazil, marriages between more than 2 people is outlawed. However, the law does allow for civil unions between 3 people.
What does that mean?
That means that if they want to keep their scene the way it is,
Yeah.
and nobody be married, then that they can do. But if they're going to try and make this legal in some way,
Yeah.
then that is not going to fly.
Back in 2000 and let's see what year this was. 2016, he was number 9 as far as the richest footballers in the world, with an estimated net worth of $93 million. Right behind.
Yes, which is coincidentally the year in which he met Beatriz.
Oh. Right behind Mike, Schweini. Bastian Schweinsteiger's net worth
the
is
greatness of Schweini.
$84 million. Then you have Raul. Not real familiar with him. Kaká.
Kaká.
Wayne Rooney. Ibrahimovic. Neymar. Messi, and Ronaldo. Ronaldo's net worth 2 years ago was $250.
Well, we're waiting to find out exactly where Donaldinho falls.
There's
on
no
this.
Donaldinho. We're waiting for reaction from
Yeah,
Donaldinho.
we're waiting for a reaction from Donaldinho. Maybe he has some sort of similar plans.
Do you know how cheap that joke is? It all started from Ron and Don.
Yeah. Who were on a competing radio station, and they did, what, afternoon drive or nights?
Were they against us?
I think they were doing middays for a while.
And it was just like
They kind of bounced around, and then they ended up doing, I believe,
Yeah.
like 7 to 10 at night. But it's
Yeah,
a lot of, hey.
they were brought on board as a direct reaction to us.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So
oh,
this
yeah.
is the
oh, yeah.
90s?
Yes. I mean, the reason they brought them on is because they tried to hire us away and couldn't.
Yeah.
This was in the 2000s. They were on.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This
they
was,
were on after
this would have been the early
2001.
aughts.
Okay.
Yeah. They tried. They brought them in as a reaction to us. They wanted somebody like us, and they ran them in here.
And it was a lot of, hey,
Yeah.
we're on a Dawn show. Let's get some lesbos up here, you homos.
That's all
How about
it
it, you
said.
a-holes? You want to see something like that? Would you like that?
So now, anytime there's a Ron, there's
has
got to
to
be
be
a
a
Don
Don.
around,
Yeah.
or if there's a Don, there's a Ron around. And so when there was a Ronaldinho, Mike was like, "Where's Donaldinho?"
Yes. And there is Ronaldo, so there's got to be a Donaldo. Just the way it goes. That's,
Well,
that's the natural order of things.
They ended up leaving the market and I think went to
They're in
like
Seattle.
Yeah, they're in
They're
Seattle,
still there.
and they've been there for a long time, and apparently they do very well up there.
And you know what? If you strip away all of the hey, that type of radio, they were actually pretty good.
It's got to be gone by now. They can't be still doing that. Hey, it's gonna be today at the studio.
And I remember when KVIL had the Cowboys.
yeah.
They tried to work one of them into the Cowboys pregame show. I think it was
What?
Don. Yeah. Yeah, they tried to work one of them into the Cowboys pregame show and into their Cowboy broadcast for a while.
God.
And that didn't take so well.
Yeah, they've been in Seattle since 2006. They've been on for 12 years, and they do afternoon drive up there on KIRO-FM.
Ah, legendary rock station up there.
Ron Upshaw and Don O'Neill.
Yeah, that's it. That's who he was, Don O'Neill.
Hey.
Ron
And boy,
Upshaw.
looking at their promo photo, they're still, hey!
Are they really?
Oh, man. This is such testosterone-fueled afternoon PM drive man radio.
I can't understand why a guy like that, though, like Ronaldinho, would do this. This just seems, I mean, even if he's backing away from it, he still is living, admittedly, living.
Yeah,
with,
he says that he doesn't say anything about the situation changing.
Right. But two of them. And even the thought of marrying them both. And do you think that the women are they're really fine with it? Like, publicly, when somebody asks them, yeah, we're good. We love each other. Yeah, we all love each other. Privately, though? Can you imagine what they say about each other?
One is too many.
Look,
Why would you want two?
Thanks for remembering the time you spent listening to The Ticket, either podcast or broadcast. Check out The Hardline, live every afternoon from 3 till 7 on Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this because as I've been thinking about this week, I've become very emotional several times. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this.
You probably
Sunday.
won't. You probably won't. I mean, most fathers probably don't when their first and only child graduates. You probably not.
Yeah, I'm viewing this much in the same way that I did turning 50. Now, hopefully the outcome will be the same. I'll find that it's no big deal and that I get through it just fine.
No, you'll lose it.
Like turning 50 was, but...
No, you'll lose it. You know why?
Why?
Because your wife will lose it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
if you
she
do, you know
probably
what?
will,
Hey,
and I will too. And
That's the normal reaction.
I don't think my parents were, when I graduated, I don't think it. Now,
what about your sister because she was older?
Maybe so, but from a kid's perspective, like high school graduation to me was no big deal. Like, I mean, I just like, oh, God, I got to go to this and sit there for 4 hours. You kidding me?
Now, you see, I think that's the way she's looking at this.
I mean, it's just
That's
beating.
the way you looked at it. That's the way I looked at it. That's the way Corby looked at it. And you wonder, you look up there and you see a lot of the parents get emotional. You're wondering, man, why are they crying? I'm getting the hell out of here.
For her, in fact, she told me today that, this whole thing has kind of been a beating.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you know what? The actual ceremony is boring.
Oh, it's unbelievably boring. Hey, I had to sit through 51 people. I can't imagine going to a big school.
Yeah, try 660.
I don't understand how you could do that. I mean, I felt like that I was sitting in there for 3 days.
And the thing that you notice when you go to a big public high school like I did is when you're hearing all those names, you're like, don't know you, never seen you.
Who are you?
I mean, you haven't seen or met 3/4 of those people.
Yeah, how many people are in Jordan's class? Do you know?
About 100 or so, I
100?
think.
That won't be too bad.
No, it won't be too bad. But I did the same thing. I just sat there thinking, and as all those people walked across the stage at what was then known as Memorial Auditorium, I just thought, I've gone through at least 3 years of high school, 3 years at Kimball with you, and with a lot of them, 5 years at Brown and Kimball together from the 8th grade on.
And probably a number of them from elementary.
Well, some of them. A lot of the elementary school kids, Carter was up and running by then, and a lot of them they stayed over there and wound up at Carter. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, most of them, I just went through that whole time without saying one word to. And they didn't say a word to me. Of course, I was viewed as a dork. I was extremely uncool to say anything to.
And see, you were kind of like me in a way because last name Reiner. Mm-hmm. So you were toward the end.
Yeah, I had to wait for a while.
I mean, me, last name W.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you had to wait for a long while.
I think I was third from the last. But like Corby Davidson, you got yours early and then had to sit there and wait for everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful.
And
now, did you guys have to do the cap and gown thing and all that?
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean? I mean, yeah. I mean, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody had to do that. I've still got mine.
You want to hear a morbid story? The only reason I remember my high school graduation, and I swear to God this is true, the only thing I really take from that day is not, I don't remember walking across the stage. I have zero recollection
Pretty
of that.
wasted?
No, I just don't. I'm telling you, man, it was like going to 7-Eleven for me. The only thing I remember about that day was when I got home and my grandparents were there, and my grandmother, within like a 2-minute span, asked me the same question. And that was like the first day that all of us realized she was getting Alzheimer's. That's the only reason I remember that day. That is the only reason. It's just, man, it's one of those days that, oh, God, we got to do this. And you go through so much crap before you actually get done and your senior in high school, that's the last thing you want to do. It's not like that penultimate moment. It's just a burr in your ass more than anything.
The thing I remember most about my graduation was I had about 35 people in it, and you went in order of grade point average. So the valedictorian was first. The salutatorian was second.
Alphabetical order?
No.
So the guy in last place?
That's what I remember most about my graduation is looking to the back of the rows of chairs and seeing the last three people, which I was convinced were borderline retarded, wondering how in the hell did you get up here?
See, that is mean.
Well, that's the South, Corby. That's how we work.
I don't remember anything.
You guys are graduating? They're back there like.
I don't remember anything about it. Being a beating though. I mean, I remember sending out invitations. I didn't really like that, but boy, I certainly liked for about a month straight going to the post office every day,
getting a check,
getting money.
That was awesome.
But
yeah, there's been a lot of that.
The cap and gown. I mean, that wasn't that big a deal.
I remember my rake was like $2,000.
Damn.
Yeah, it was sizable from like everybody, and I kept it, and I was like, this will be my first semester spending money at TCU.
And you didn't even make it to the summer.
Well, no, I mean first semester that lasted like till September 15th, like 2 weeks.
My rake was like $125 and a gift certificate to Allsup's.
Mine was.
What? Go ahead. No. Come on.
Mine was a Corvette Stingray model.
What? That's it?
Had a tube of airplane glue.
And a gift certificate to Swindles.
Well, up there in that New York, they are all in a tizzy today because it has been made known that what was being whispered about for the last few days is indeed fact.
Mike Francesa is coming back.
Yeah, he is.
To WFAN Sports Radio. The Pope will return after only 4 months of retirement.
So they made this big, huge to-do about him going away, and it was a year-long, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar send-off and blah, 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 blah. And this idiot goes 4 months and then is like, yeah, I'll take my job back.
Yeah. And as details are emerging about this story, there are 2 things that are very, very apparent, Corby. Number one, he was desperate to get back on the air.
What happened in the 4 months?
I don't know. I guess he just didn't have anything else to do with himself, and it was making him crazy. That's one of the things that's very apparent. The other is how disappointed, pissed, bummed out, however you want to put it, everybody at the station is with this news.
Because they hated him?
Because they hate him. Andrew Marchand of the New York Post says that he was making $3 million a year.
God.
At the time of his retirement.
For opening up the phones and taking 1,000 phone calls and then falling asleep while he's on the air.
He will take a significant pay cut to rejoin the station. And the thing that probably has people up in uproar more than anything else is that he went over the head of his longtime boss and went corporate to get this done. His boss is Mark Chernoff, who I believe back in the day was Howard Stern's boss, the program director at that station in New York that Stern did his thing on. He's been at WFAN for a long time.
Is
He's
this
the guy
Pig Vomit?
No, I don't think this was Pig Vomit. Pig Vomit was earlier in Howard's career. It seemed that for all the grief Stern gave Mark Chernoff, they did okay together because Chernoff would let him do whatever he wanted. But he went over his head and went to David Field, who was the president of the WFAN parent company, Intercom, to negotiate his deal. And they say he will be back on WFAN early next month. He will be on from 3 to 6:30 Eastern Time. The show that they had put in place, featuring Chris Carlin, Maggie Gray, and Bart Scott, and was, by all accounts, terrible.
Again, what makes his show good? He doesn't do anything.
But he's Mike Francesa. They will be moving from 1 to 3, and Evan Roberts and Joe Bonino are going to go from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Wonderful.
4 months.
Yeah.
Which means that how long did he actually make it before he starts trying to go above everybody's head at that radio station? This has probably been going on for the last couple of months.
Yeah, it probably has. These processes take a little bit of time, so I don't know. He might not have even made it 2 months into retirement before he said, oh, man, what have I done?
That's so sad.
And I wonder if he called them and said, hey, can I come back? Or if he just circulated this idea out there through back channels, told somebody who told somebody, and finally it made its way around to Mark Chernoff that, hey, I want to come back.
And, well, that's the thing. Did Chernoff deny it? Did he just like, what? No, you're done. Then that's another thing.
From the tone of this story that I'm looking at, and every story that I've read, because it's all over the papers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it dominates the papers in New York today. But from every story I've read, nobody, including Chernoff, wanted him back, even though the show that they put together in his place was just dying.
So how do they allow that? Is it this business? I know it's a screwed up business, and it's all about ratings and all that, money and everything else. But, I mean, if somebody is that loathed at their workplace and a guy that, again, I don't know if he was forced out or what. This sounds like a Jay Leno situation more than anything. A guy that, like,
it's being compared to that.
That Leno kind of, okay, just kind of go along with it. Didn't really want it to happen, but understood it was for the greater good, and you had other people that were going to replace you and all that. I mean, this is what it sounds like. And then it didn't work out or whatever. They gave it 4 months, which is about as long as they gave Conan, right?
Yeah.
Conan did not last more than 6 months at the Tonight Show before Leno came back, or they asked Leno to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is between Jay Leno and this asshat is that Jay Leno was tolerable, from what I've read at least. He was nice. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
This guy is a jerk and does nothing.
And he hates you.
Yeah.
And is not well liked by anybody on the inside up there.
No.
But I guess when your name is so big and you've been in that market for so long and done what he's done in that market for so long, if you want to get the ear of the big guy, the guy over Mark Chernoff, or the guy over whoever the station manager is, the big corporate guy, the Lou Dickey, if you will,
right,
you can do it. And that's apparently what he did. He got on the phone with David Field, and they worked it out, and just like that, here he is.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, he surely knows. He probably reads everything and consumes everything that's written about him. He's fully aware of these stories that are circulating and how much he is loathed.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And what these people actually think of him.
There's no doubt. And you know what? He doesn't care.